Hello, my friend. You're concerned about aging. Well, I would say relax about aging and start thinking about what you're doing as developing and maturing and creating a good life. And if that life is going to be quite long, let's hope that you make sure it will also be wise and that it will also be fruitful, and that by the time you get to your 70s and 80s and perhaps 90s, you will have become like a map of existence, because you will have collected so much wisdom and experience and understanding of the world that living becomes far easier, far more pleasant, and far more of a generous experience, because instead of worrying the whole time about your own survival, you will now be able to think about finding that final rest and easing into that, whilst passing on everything you have accumulated physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, existentially, passing all of that on to the next generations. This is a view of living which is based on the idea that life is an enriching experience and that you are incredibly fortunate to have it at all. But to have it for a very long time is huge privilege. But of course, it all depends on how you live, whether it will be a wise form of aging or not. People speak about aging gracefully, and that often means reducing yourself gradually and accepting that you are diminished. Or they speak of aging disgracefully, and that often means rebelling against your natural maturational process. Well, I believe in going with the flow and learning every day of my life, and to savor that learning and to create a more and more beautiful, wholesome, wonderful existence, so that I don't have to think about aging gracefully or disgracefully or being afraid of it in any way, but rather I use my existence to be like a warehouse full of information, understanding, possibilities, and beauty, really. Life, and every year that you're allowed to live it, is a chance to collect that understanding and that depth of experience, to become increasingly aware, to become increasingly alive, is to use all your facilities, including your brain, but the whole of your body as well, to use them well and to cherish them. Aging is a process of cherishing life, of welcoming it, of collecting it, of harvesting all of the good things about life, and getting more and more resilient and more insightful and more understanding and savvy about all the challenges of life, so that you have to fear them a lot less as well. So aging is a process of acquiring wisdom and flexibility and love. Aging is a chance to become more loving, because you become more able to oversee the whole thing, and instead of staying hidden away in one part of life, to really blossom in all these other ways that were previously not allowed or not possible. I believe that my life has become more and more liberated as I've grown older. Significantly so when I turned 18, because I was free to become my own person. Then again, significantly so when I was in my 30s and raising a family and realized that I had this role to play in the world of teaching and passing on and learning to make myself gradually into a better and more caring person. And then significantly so after the change in my 50s, when I could let go of the long race of sexuality and procreation and really find my own life to live for its own purpose, and to gradually, year after year, sharpen up my understanding of what the meaning and purpose of my life are, what I choose them to be. And then, of course, my life has become significantly liberated even more after I semi-retired and chose to take some of my time back for bigger projects and to extend myself to a wider world. And I have found that an extremely liberating experience. And I imagine that when I come to the moment of death, it will be the greatest liberation of all, because then I will just relinquish everything I have accumulated and leave it to everybody else. And I'll dive into the avenues I have created towards something beyond this earthly life. And I will speak about that spirituality and that worldview at some other time, because right now I just wanted to stay focused on reassuring you about aging and making sure that you are aware that aging is not something that starts happening when you're 50 or 60. It happens every day of your life. And every day of your life is a chance to get that process of aging to be something that works for you, because it is actually the flow of time. So you need to learn to use the energy of that flow and to go with that flow and to really relish the passing of time, my friend, and hold it to your heart so that it's yours and you take ownership of the process of your life, which is a process of flowing through time, aging and learning. Discover it for yourself. My words are only words, but your life is yours, and your aging process is in your capable hands.